January 6th will forever be remembered as a day when an angry mob ransacked the Capitol. The mob was fired up by rhetoric about a stolen election, and at least some of them had hoped to prevent Congress from approving the election of then President-elect Joe Biden. Congressman Neil Dunn of Panama City was there that day. He tells News 13's Brady Calhoun what he witnessed.
Congressman Neil Dunn was on the floor of the House of Representatives preparing to vote on certification of the Electoral College vote when the Sergeant-at-Arms got the call.
He got the word on his radio, and he just went white. The word was that the West End had been breached. It hadn't happened since 1812, so he was rattled. He took off like a shot.
Dunn, an Army veteran, said he understood what was at stake and immediately followed the safety procedures given to every member of Congress.
I'm really pretty attentive when they say, the perimeter's been breached. You don't have to say that to me twice. Your curiosity did kill the cat.
Dunn stayed in his office and the trouble outside did not reach him. Still, it was a shocking day. 5 people, including a Capitol police officer, died in the incident. Another police officer committed suicide the next day.
People who were there were sort of mob mentality. They were, they got caught up in the moment, and they did things that if you ask them over a cup of coffee on a calm day, would they do that? They'd say, no, never. But I mean, it was just appalling. And I think, unfortunately, our grandchildren will study that day, in history and be disappointed in us.
He also believes all of the people who invaded the Capitol must all be arrested and charged.
Prosecuted. They became part of a violent, illegal, irrational mob.
President Donald Trump, along with Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, spent weeks telling Trump loyalists that the election was stolen. This has led to some blaming Trump for the insurrection and saying the 3 men and other Republicans were responsible for the incident.
I think that, we all could have handled that thing a lot better.
Dunn said he expects that federal judges, along with the Senate itself, will decide where the blame should be placed. But he added that the former president's rhetoric was an issue.
I have grave concerns about some of the things that he said in his speech that morning.
After the Capitol was sacked, Dunn joined 146 other Republicans in the House to vote against certifying the Electoral College results. Dunn points out that Democrats made similar votes several times over the last few decades.
People have made the point that this was some sort of vote, for anarchy or for the mob. It was nothing like that at all. I mean, what we were doing was saying that this was an irregular election, and ipso facto it is. I mean, you're still counting votes at 2 months after the election. That's an irregular election.
Dunn said his vote was also a call to improve election procedures going forward. He also noted that the feedback he's gotten from his district supports that vote by a margin of 20-1. In Panama City, Brady Calhoun, News 13, Panhandle Strong.